Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for June 26th, 2025, Season 4, Episode 177. I am MayorWatt. I run ohmTown.com. That's that site. But that right there is the Sentient AI's visualizer. They're not here today. Actually, this whole week. I'm in the time machine making up for mayoral duties keeping me away. That said, we're going to talk about trolling Apple and Qualcomm. A dealership employee stole $200,000 in SUVs, so like two. Nintendo summer sale. Missed it by 10 seconds. Sorry, we're closed. Roads so hot they buckled. PC launcher for Xbox. Off to smell the Wizard of Oz. Probably smells like a locker room. Or minty. I mean, there's a lot of green, so like wintergreen, evergreen, whatever the green that nobody really likes. Sorry, got distracted. Missing bolts were thrown away. Boing. The status of YouTube TV other than expensive, and Suno acquires Wavtool. That and more on today's Non Sequitur News. All right, hello everybody. Let's get straight on into this. It is a time machine episode. I'm trying to make up for the entire week of shows that were missed. We never really miss anything around here. We always go back using the time machine. That said, first article is over in Smack Talk because it has to do with Apple. Patent troll lawsuit against Apple and Qualcomm will remain in Texas. Qualcomm and Apple sought to transfer the patent troll case filed by Red Rock in 2021 to California, but their appeals have been denied. Lawsuit seeks damages from years of iPhone sales. Apple's no stranger to patent infringement lawsuits from patent trolls, and one that slipped under the radar since its start in 2021 has resurfaced. Red Rock Analytics, a non-practicing entity, aka a patent troll, filed a lawsuit with Apple and Qualcomm over U.S. patent 7346313. in Texas. It's a report from Law 360, but it's posted over at Apple Insider. Wesley Hilliard put the article together for appleinsider.com. I don't think that's their real musical intro, but anyway, it says there's little information available about the company filing these patent lawsuits. It filed a similar one against Samsung for the same patent previously, and the request for an injunction against Apple was originally filed in 2019. These kinds of cases are slow moving to the point of them being, there's this pitch drop experiment where they missed for years and years and years one of the actual blobs of pitch separating from the parent blob. It's kind of how these IP lawsuits go, unless it's way over the top. Like I'm following this one for AI right now where a company interacted with the two companies that are now saying that they're not interested in the AI, the hardware from the one that pitched, yet they're releasing a product that is eerily, at least on the outside appearance, that the anecdotal observation, because nobody's seen the actual design or anything like that. Anyway, dangerously close to being identical to it. It's basically a device that attaches to an AI so that you can interact with it. Anyway, we'll talk about it more as more progresses, but we'll see what happens. So the patent itself covers a system for calibrating the balance of in-phase and quadrature signals in radio transceivers. The original lawsuit named Qualcomm's SMR 526, SDR 865, and SDX 55M products. The company is seeking a jury trial and requests a long list of reliefs, including enjoinments, barring Apple and Qualcomm from infringing on the patent in question, and they hope for damages and royalty payments. Indeed. What's interesting about this is they call these people patent trolls, but the patent trolls acquire the IP from the people who do the patent, right? So if I come up with a product, but I don't have the deep pockets or the desire to get in bed with a bunch of different developers, manufacturers, or whatever, and I license my IP to somebody, and they are maybe overzealous about how they deliver that IP, or I should say, they deliver the legal papers saying, hey, pay us for the IP that you're trading on. Sometimes it's posed as a patent troll, but it's a non-practicing entity. They own the IP. It's really no different than a practicing entity, in that they own the rights to something and they acquire them legally from somebody who invented something. And so, for instance, if I want to license my IP to somebody else, why shouldn't I benefit from my intellectual development? My product, I created this thing. It was novel and unique and patentable item, but I don't want to develop a full-on product off of it. Thousands upon thousands of items, IP, are patented regularly each year that never see the light of day because somebody doesn't have millions of dollars to deliver the product, but they have the skills and abilities to develop that IP. Yeah. The people on the other side of the fence who are prevented from acquiring a product deem that as enriching yourself unjustifiably. But let me just tell you, you're insane if you think that. I've developed products that are just idling right now because for me to bring it to market, I would have to basically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, bringing it to market and contend with all kinds of other stuff. But if somebody wants to buy the IP from me, sure as hell I'm going to sell it. Doesn't make them a patent troll any more than it makes me anything other than I created something that I think that I should benefit from. And because I have a patent for it, it gives me X number of years of protection from somebody taking it outright and bringing it to market. Here's the thing about it, though. When you patent something, after 2.5 years, it's published regardless. And so somebody can read it, and if they're skilled in the art, they can reproduce the work that is in 7346313 and produce a product. But they got it because they either fundamentally did the research, doubtful, or if it's in infringing a patent, then they probably read it. Or I pitched it to them and they decided to go with it. Like I pitched something to EA. They said that they couldn't do it, but 35 years later, they're doing it. Am I going after EA for anything? Absolutely not. Why would I? Because 35 years worth of evolution of technology is what made it. And they really haven't made it possible to do what I wanted to do 35 years ago. Anyway, beside the point, Red Rock Analytics, they may be a non-practicing entity, but they owned the material. That's the third time my fire alarm has gone off. But there isn't anything going on, so I may have to leave early. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in FourWheelTech. A dealership employee has been arrested for stealing $200,000. Hold on a second. I need to. Okay, so like the battery on my fire alarm is apparently going. I've never heard it chirp 3 times like that, but it says a fire alarm chirping 3 times in a row generally indicates a low battery or a malfunction with the alarm. Could be a signal that the alarm has reached the end of its lifespan and needs to be replaced. All right, that's fine. I hope it doesn't just keep on doing that. Right. Anyway, it hasn't been 10 years. But anyway, doesn't matter, right? MayorWatt, move on. Now a former employee of Smythe Volvo in Summit, New Jersey may have been inspired to do something straight out of the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. Article comes out of Jalopnik. Justin Hughes put the article together. The Summit Police Department arrested a person for allegedly stealing 3 cars from the dealership during his employment. I guessed it was 2, but they said it was 3. The first, 2025 Volvo EX90, was reported on April 15th. The second EX90 was reported stolen from the same dealer on May 7th. And switching it up, they got a 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLE mysteriously disappeared off the lot on May 26th. No laser cut key necessary, it seems. These cars are collectively worth around $200,000. So the imperfect crime, the dealer is going on to notice a car missing from its lot, even with all windows intact. The dealer will certainly notice 3 missing cars over the course of 8 weeks. They did a one night, well, that's why Memphis Reigns did a big one night boost in Gone in 60 Seconds to get away before the victims even knew that they'd been robbed. Anyway, they've been charged with 3 counts of motor theft, not Memphis Reigns. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in WarCrafters. Nintendo's having a summer sale if you want to fill up your Switch 2 storage. Nintendo has done something rare, but it's the first time. It put its first-party games on sale. The company's summer sale on digital games through the Nintendo eShop kicked off on Thursday and runs through July 9th at 11:59 p.m. What do you think? Are you going to go and buy a bunch of stuff? So far, for all the gamers who are in dire need of games for their Switch 2, there's a ton of Switch games that have received free updates to run on the new hardware. Like Super Mario World 3D plus Bowser's Fury, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That sounds weird. And Super Mario Odyssey. And several others. Apparently, Mark Griffin over at Polygon put the article together. It says, what's this? What's this? A rare Nintendo sale. What's this? What's this? You're still going to have to pay $80 for a freaking game. Not these older games, but check out a glimpse of some of the prices below. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is $42. It was normally $60, but this is the lure into, and then you're going to have to start paying $80 and $90 for a freaking Nintendo Switch game. You're out of your freaking mind. I don't really like Nintendo anyway. But there you go. It says, but wait, that's not all. A slew of third-party titles, indie and otherwise, are also caught up in the summer madness with prices so affordable. You'll be asking yourself, who needs to eat dinner and when can I finally purchase and play and never play 30 new games? That's my life on Steam. Anyway, go and check it out. Nintendo's eShop Shale. So over on FourWheelTech is the next article. A flight was forced on an 8-hour detour after missing the Munich airport curfew by 10 seconds. The flight was forced to land at a diversion airport 233 miles away, and passengers didn't reach their destination until the next day after traveling all night. Ryan Eric King for Jalopnik put this article together. The Condor Flight 1513 earlier this month were mere seconds from touching down before their trip was suddenly extended by 8 hours. The German Airlines Airbus A321 was on final approach to Munich Airport when its landing gear down when the flight crew was denied permission to land. The flight had missed the last possible landing time after a midnight curfew just 10 seconds earlier and was forced to land at a diversion airport 233 miles away. Says it was sparked by the Condor flight running extremely late due to a prior delay with the plane, according to 1 mile at a time. Departure from Palma de Mallorca Airport in Spain was originally scheduled for 8:35, but didn't take off until 10:52, 12 minutes after its planned arrival. The flight received a 30-minute extension to allow for 12:30, but fell just seconds short. All right, the next article is over on the Mobile Channel. U.S. roads are so hot that they're buckling and launching cars into the air. I actually saw this when it happened, when it was posted over on Reddit. If you haven't heard or been outside for the last week, much of the U.S. is currently trapped under a heat dome. Occurs when high pressure sits over land and traps hot air, roasting everything within it. It is an oven in the U.S. Louis Prada over at Vice.com put the article together, but it was actually originally over at a video that I saw was over on Reddit. Basically, the road buckled and this car was just in front of the launch pad when it happened, so it drove right up and over it, catching air on the other side. Isn't your summer heat so hot, people that are out there, says dying left and right? Our national living heat index indicator, Senate Majority Leader, recently had to be whisked away to the hospital for suffering from dehydration. But there's a video of it. I'll just mute it. Anyway, it says that there was a bump. They knew that it was happening, but all of a sudden this road just pops up in the air You can actually watch it happen in this video here. There was somebody recording it for Fox Weather. Pop, and the person caught air. Pretty wild. Yep. So everything stretches. Every solid kind of expands. Gases expand. Everything expands really when it gets heated. But Google road buckling, and you'll see article after article from several states all talking about how the roads in their slice of America are getting ripped to shreds by the heat. And then it contracts in the cold. And so eventually it becomes brittle and falls apart because blacktop isn't a solid. It's just a slow moving liquid. And when heat gets a little too much, it expands too far. And then there's gaps, basically stress gaps, that should allow for it to stretch and contract, but not so much. Yeah, pretty wild. It's a bit of a known issue for our nation's terrible, outdated infrastructure. It says temperatures were just above 92 degrees Fahrenheit, but the index topped 102. Asphalt. It's not its fault. All right, the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Microsoft Xbox PC launcher gets going with Steam, Epic, and other games showing up. Microsoft announced earlier this week that it would start testing its new aggregated gaming library on the Xbox app for Windows, and is now starting to show up for testers. This new library experience lists Steam, Battle.net, Ubisoft, Epic Games, and other Riot Games titles. Is all installed on a PC from various other launchers, much like the GOG Galaxy. They've been trying out the experience today and found Microsoft automatically detects installed games and lists them in your library in the Xbox app, which is how it should be, even with books, music, whatever. If you buy one place, why do you have to buy it somewhere else again and again? It's asinine. Let alone software developers getting tired of supporting their game, and so they kill it. That's asinine too. Hey, if you want today's show notes, you can hit !NSN over in Twitch, but on YouTube, it's in the show notes for each specific episode. Tom Warren over at The Verge put the article together. What? Well, I'll just move on. Anyway, the article is by Tom Warren over at The Verge. I don't know what this is. Continue reading with a Verge subscription. I've never had that before, but I'm not logged in, so I'm not going to do it. Anyway, the next article is over in Rounders Gear. We're off to smell the Wizard of Oz at the Las Vegas Sphere. The Sphere will be filled with scents corresponding to key scenes of its reimagined version of the Wizard of Oz, which opens August 28th. The scents were confirmed by Sphere executives to include the tornado that propels Dorothy into Oz and the poppy field she and her new friends encountered on their way to the Emerald City. And patchouli. No, so much patchouli. Anyway, it's the scents are not among the technological breakthroughs currently being highlighted by the Sphere, such as the AI that helped fit the 4:3 original film into the Sphere's 160,000 square foot wraparound digital screen, or the haptic technology that will help the audience feel the digitally enhanced soundtrack in their actual seats. However, the scents are likely to be among the most memorable takeaways of the film, which begins screening to the public on August 28th. That's because the brain's processing center for smells is the most directly connected sense to the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory formation, as well as the amygdala, which processes emotions. That's why cookies, chocolate chip cookies, vanilla cookies, trigger kind of a feeling of home. You'll notice it when you go house shopping, go to open houses. They typically bake cookies to make you feel more at home. There's 3 more chirps there. I hear you. The article is by Corey Levitin over at casino.org. When Dorothy follows the yellow brick road into the Las Vegas Sphere, it won't only be your eyes and ears, but you'll be able to smell it. I'm going to have to hurry so I can address this fire alarm. There's no fire. It's just failing, I guess. Missing bolts were thrown away in Boeing 737 MAX door plug blowout, says NTSB. This is over at the FourWheelTech article or channel at ohmTown.com, but it's sourced from Jalopnik. The agency didn't pull any punches in laying blame on the aerospace giant. The article by Ryan Eric King Interesting. It says that it's been 18 months since the door plug blowout on Boeing 737 MAX at 14,830 feet over Portland, Oregon. It's only been 18 months? Seems like a lot longer than that. That can't be. No way. Huh. Anyway, the NTSB's report... Oh, the NTSB released its report on Tuesday, and the agency didn't pull any punches. Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 was only 6 minutes into the flight after takeoff when the door plug came loose and fell to the ground. No one was seated next to the hole in the fuselage. The plane safely returned to the airport, and all 177 people escaped injury. I heard rumors that like a shirt was pulled off of somebody. I don't know how true that is. Anyway, they stated that the incident's probable cause was Boeing's failure to provide adequate training, guidance, and oversight. The 4 missing bolts were removed during the manufacturing process to facilitate rework on the aircraft, but were never reinstalled. We talked about it in shows past. Essentially, the one person was on vacation, and the other person that took their place, their last job was a fast food worker or something like that, and they hadn't been adequately trained on the job. I think that's how it all works. Anyway, the report didn't mark the end of the stiff regulatory scrutiny that Boeing is under. Investigators are still underway for the fatal crash of the Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner in Ahmedabad, India, earlier this month. The wide-body airliner appeared to lose engine power while taking off and plummeted into the dining hall of a nearby medical college. And it killed 241 people aboard and 19 people on the ground, and there was a sole survivor who walked away from the wreckage. Final destination. Let's keep going. The next article is over on Wanted. YouTube TV is falling behind where this streamer shines. YouTube TV is wildly expensive, at least in my regard. Has faced its share of criticism. Many cord cutters started using YouTube TV, which means you're not cutting a cord other than a conventional cord. You're still attached because it was cheaper than cable over the years, but the service has continued to rise. Yep. From $35 a month in 2017 to $83 a month today. So when one market dies, the vacuum is filled by predators. This article is over at pocket-lint.com. Craig Donaldson put the article together. DirecTV has emerged as a leading competitor to YouTube TV with its new My Free DirecTV fast service and paid genre packs. Paramount and DirecTV have signed a deal to add Paramount and CBS channels to DirecTV's, but I was an early adopter of DirecTV. It's internet-based streaming service, and they raised the price $5 every quarter when I was an early adopter, and basically told me to kick sand, kiss their butt. It didn't matter that I was an early adopter and that they're changing the agreement and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. They don't care. I mean, they're sociopathic, so that quote unquote, they have to pay the bills, but that's bullshit. They're making hand over fist, profit upon profit. DirecTV's genre packs allow users to pay for only the live TV channels they actually want to stream and are themed based on various interests. So at launch, DirecTV offered 4 distinct genre packs: My Entertainment, My News, My Sports, My Espanol. Now DirecTV is expanding its offerings by adding a new genre pack and new channels to its existing packs at no extra cost. Yeah, it's still $87. So anyway, mergers and acquisitions, they do not help customers one little freaking bit. So YouTube, it says YouTube should take notes from DirecTV, should offer its own version of genre packs, but you can order bespoke channels. You can order specific channels. You like Food Network, you can order just the Food Network and add it for like $5 or $10 or something like that. Anyway, the author, again, it's Craig Donaldson over at pocket-lint.com, says their favorite genre pack offered by DirecTV is called My Entertainment Genre Pack. And for $35 a month, you get over 50 of the most popular channels: A&E, HGTV, FX, Bravo, History, and more, plus Disney+, Hulu with ads, Max with ads. So not only do you get all those channels, but you also get 2 of the most popular streaming services in the US, Disney+ and Hulu, which is really one company. with ads bundle alone costs $11 a month, and Max with ads costs $10 a month. So for just $14 more, you're getting 50 of the biggest channels on linear TV along with those streaming services. Yeah. Let's keep going. The next article and our last one for the 26th is over in Late Night Geeks. Suno snaps up Wavtool for its AI music editing tools amid ongoing dispute with music labels. But if that last court case that we talked about, it rings true, everything is fair game. So we'll see. AI music company Suno acquired Wavtool, a browser-based AI digital audio tool. So this aims to improve editing capabilities for musicians. The article is by Lauren Forrestal over at TechCrunch.com. The terms of the deal have not been disclosed. Wavtool, launched in 2023, offers several tools to musicians such as stem separation, AI audio generation, AI music assistant. Suno will integrate Wavtool's technology into its new editing interface, which launched this month. The acquisition comes on the heels of yet another lawsuit. When we were talking about country musician Tony Justice and his music label Fifth Wheel Records filed a lawsuit against Suno earlier this month. It's a different one than the copyright case. Actually, it's the U.S. Copyright Office that said that it's fair use to use copyrighted material, alleging that Suno used copyrighted sound recordings to train its AI music generator. It's training. It's massively transformative. And this kind of proves the point that if you can sit there and copyright a little 3-second snippet of music and you own the rights to it in perpetuity, you can kiss my ass. Suno acquired Wavtool a few months ago with the browser-based DAW. Going offline in November, timing the announcement for this week seems intentional, possibly aimed at diverting attention from the lawsuit. So, yeah, I like Suno. Anyway, we're not going to use AI to bring us back to the front page of ohmTown.com, but that's it for today's Non Sequitur news. That's I've done 4 of them today, and I might be able to do the 5th one tonight. It really depends on my mayoral duties. I've got a big conversation that I've got a meeting tonight, so we'll see if I can circle back around and get the 27th tonight on time. Anyway, with that in mind, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. If you're over on YouTube, please like, subscribe, follow, post a message, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this. Vote it up, right? So thumb up over on YouTube. That'd be awesome. Over on Twitch, post comments in the stream. There's no long-term storage there, so I have to kind of tell people come and hang out while we're streaming, but the only way you're going to know is if you follow us on Twitch. But we stream to both YouTube and Twitch. I don't know what to tell you. I like both of the platforms for different reasons. At any rate, come and hang out. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.